final score, Wrexham 2, TNS 0. Great stuff again. Another home derby win over TNS, and as well a very important result because we're looking for the title. TNS are serious opposition, finished third last year, won the Adran Trophy, and now we've had two difficult back-to-back home matches, at home to Cardiff, at home to TNS. 4 points out of 6 is what we need to maintain a title push. It could have been 6, of course. Cardiff got their penalty in the 84th minute, but despite that, yeah, to face up to strong sides like this, you've got to show you can beat them, or at least compete with them comfortably. We did that in both games. And also, when you're going for the title, especially against a team like Cardiff who are relentless, you just can't afford to drop many points. And this was key here as TNS came and put up a good display, but we still found the means to beat them. So really, really satisfying result. There's another piece of context that I think is really important about this result that I need to lay out there. Since beating Cardiff, they've played the bottom two. So they were always going to be 6 points better off now than they were after drawing at ours. That draw for them is a great result because we're leading for a long time and then they've managed to finish strongly and not be beaten. We had a couple of testing games away to Aberystwyth. That's not easy, and the conditions also didn't make it easy. And then against TNS, the only team that have beaten us this season. So if we weren't going to allow Cardiff to open up a gap, we needed to win those two matches. Mission accomplished. In style. Aggregate 7-0. Interestingly, we've actually equalled the club record. We only started in 2018, of course, and 2 consecutive clean sheets in a goal-laden Welsh women's game equals our club record, remarkably, both in terms of in all competitions and in the league. So mission very much accomplished, and as a result, now Cardiff have a couple of tougher looking fixtures lined up, and we must try our very best to capitalise upon that. The shoe's on the other foot now. Can we push on, win games and put pressure on them? This was a very good performance in a proper derby match. TNS and Wrexham, when we met at Park Hall, it was a proper tactical chess match, to use the cliche, and we tried something different which didn't quite work. It has worked since. It didn't catch TNS out, or rather they adapted very well to it, and they ended up getting 4 goals in the first 48 minutes. There were all sorts of thoughts beforehand about whether one or both teams would try counter-bluffing again or double-bluffing, and it was fascinating. The early stages were important. TNS got on top in the early stages, moved the ball around really well, and had a big early opportunity. A ball over the top was a nasty one to deal with, and it was chased after by Tia. Managed to just about get there ahead of the last defender. Love it. Craven comes out and does really well to get a foot to it, but it falls for Gibbs, and with Craven retreating, it's a real chance for Gibbs, who scored her first ever goal for TNS against Wrexham in that reverse fixture, to shoot from outside the box against an unguarded goal. But Bartle has got back into a great position, and when Gibbs shoots, she's able to get her foot to it and deflect it behind for the corner. Bartle would have an excellent game at the back, which is no huge shock. She is a class player and a real leader as captain, and she will make another key intervention moments later when Frances Jones, TNS's best player, whips in a corner from the left-hand side. Bartle gets a crucial little touch onto it as it skims across the goalmouth, which means that when Lewis manages to arrive unmarked at close range at the far post, the flight of the ball has just been slightly altered and she can't adjust her body shape to knock it on target. It goes wide, and we've had a couple of fortunate escapes. However, we respond extremely well to that and take control of the game. It's true basically that we have quality running through the team, but it's also true that we have some fabulous goal power providers in this side, and if you're able to get anything like decent service forwards, we're going to make chances. And that's kind of what happens as we start to take control of the game. Lily Jones and Nat Clark really getting a grip on the middle of the pitch, and we start getting good balls forwards to create opportunities. The first one goes in, and it's beautifully conceived. Richardson in midfield just has a bit of a heavy touch. Lily Jones snaps him with a typical challenge. Abby Inden has dropped deep to help out in midfield, and she's very alert, gets onto the loose ball and instantly pops it back into Lily Jones's path, because Lily's doing Lily Jones stuff now. She's driving through the middle of the pitch and changing the dynamic of the game and creating her own transition. She runs onto it. Barker inevitably is making a great run. She spotted the gap between the centre backs. Lily Jones feeds it in perfectly, and Barker's one-on-one with the keeper and slots it nicely into the bottom left corner. Good finish, and Barker has scored for a 5th consecutive match. Again, like Bartle, a summer signing who's come in and is just absolutely terrific. And Wrexham keep pushing on and keep causing problems. We have a shout for a penalty. Mariam Mahmood does really well to pick the ball up in the right side of the box. Baker slides in. There's contact. Mahmood stays on her feet. It isn't a foul, and Mahmood doesn't ask for a foul. There is contact, but it's not something that was worth asking the question for. Then across comes Charlotte Crease, a young striker, only a second start for TNS, usually a striker but being used as a left wing back. And she was brought off at half time because I think maybe it wasn't quite the best position to get the best out of her. She comes careering across. Mahmood changes quickly from a right to a left foot, deceives Crease, and Crease runs into it. Now, I'll be honest, I don't think it's a penalty. I think it's more she can't quite stop herself. She doesn't kick Mahmood either, but she does run into her and then try to stop herself with both hands onto Mahmood and pushes her over. Like I say, I don't think I'd give a penalty for it. I think the ref is right, but it was worth asking the question. Mahmood does still have control of the ball, and as Crease is coming careering in, is going to nick past her and probably get a shot off from about 10 yards in a tightish angle. So, certainly worth asking the question. It goes firmly into the you've seen them given category, even though I'm not giving it if I was a ref. So, we continue to threaten. Suckley's work rate, Mahmood's work rate in supporting us going forwards is outstanding, both defensively and driving forwards. Phoebe Davis is doing an excellent job in at left back, because TNS, their right wing back, Maria Francis Jones, a full Welsh international, which is a rarity in the Adran Premier, is really looking good. And Davis's defensive capabilities allow her to deal with her when she's getting up the pitch. And it's a really good all-round performance. Josie Smith rock solid at right back, and alongside Barton, Erin Lovett continuing her excellent development as a centre-back in a back four. Really looking very good. We have another chance to double our lead. A great corner from Lily Jones, and Nat Clark stooping at the near post. Makes contact about 10-15 yards out. It's a glancing header. Can't quite get enough on it though, and it goes out wide to the left of the goal. But there's drama at the end of the half. Francis Jones working a terrific 1-2 to send Leah Lewis round the back of the fence on the right-hand side. She whips it across. Lovett just gets a touch onto it. Otherwise, I think Chapman scores. Well, certainly has a clear sight of goal. Chapman does brilliantly to adjust as the ball is going now above her reach because of that deflection. She backpedals and she does brilliantly just to steer it back towards goal. She can do no more, but she does do so, arching it back and getting her head onto it, and it loops over Craven, hits the bar and bounces down. A lucky escape for Wrexham, although it has to be said it would be a highly unorthodox and, quite frankly, outstanding piece of play by Chapman to score, considering the deflection essentially meant she shouldn't have even been able to reach it. And then Wrexham come back. That happens in the last minute of the first half. In the first minute of added time, Wrexham have an opportunity. Smith doing ever so well, stepping up and intercepting and wasting no time, feeding the ball into the right side of the box, where Barker takes a lovely little touch which takes her a little bit wider, but also opens up sight of goal, and she drills a powerful shot in which goes just over, and you can see how annoyed she is that she hasn't hit the target, because she's expecting now to hit the target every single time the way that she is playing. Wrexham start the second half well. TNS have made that change. Grace Dunkley comes on at left wing back rather, and really makes an impact. I think she does very well. But Wrexham get our first opportunity of the half, and it's another move started off by Lily Jones, who drops deep, quarterback roll, pinging a great ball from left of centre in her own half to find Mahmood in the right pocket, and she does what Mahmood does so well, takes on and beats a player, drills in a shot from the right channel in the penalty area just inside the box, and Hayden Jones getting down, can't get down to it in time. The ball thuds against the post behind her, and maybe a little slice of fortune for TNS. I'm not quite sure how it doesn't bounce straight back and hit Hayden Jones and go into the net. Somehow it evades her, to the extent that I had to watch the replay, never mind even just the footage of the game, to work out if it had hit the post or not, because it seems to almost go straight through Hayden Jones and then straight back. It goes just wide of her reach and bounces back under her armpit as she's diving. So maybe a little touch of fortune there for TNS, but they improve as the half goes on. And whereas the first half was competitive, and I'd say Wrexham with a better side, in the second half I would reverse that round. It's competitive, it's much more of a scrap, and TNS are putting much more pressure on us. Having said that, like the men's team in the last couple of league games, we hold them at arm's length really well. Leah Lewis is absolutely full of energy. You can see on quite a heavy pitch, which is, I've got to say, no criticism of the pitch. Buckley Town had a game the day before on it, and it worked very hard with Wrexham's support to make sure the pitch was good. And it was heavy because there was a lot of rain on it as well over the course of the weekend, but it held up very nicely. I assure you, can think off the top of my head straight away of two Adran Premier teams who will struggle to have got that game on, but Buckley have done a great job working on their pitch and their setup. They've been brilliant hosts for us. So yeah, you can see players tiring, but TNS are starting to move around well. Frances Jones continues to drive up and down on the right. Dunkley is stretching us on the left hand side, and we have to make changes. Firstly, Phoebe Davis has to go off. She takes knock to their heads, and although afterwards she confirmed she felt okay, she has to go off. She'd had two chunks of treatments typically, because she always puts herself on the line, and then as well Lily Jones out of a spell of treatment. She managed to get through the game, thankfully. Snape comes on for Davis. That's a natural change, of course. Snape has been a regular at left back for us this season, and she does very well. And then crucially, halfway through the second half, Faye Knox comes on for Abby Inden, who puts an excellent stint in up front again, holding the attacking play together. And as a consequence of that, we reshuffle a little bit. Suckley going up front, Knox to the left-hand side of the midfield, and we instantly have a chance to put some distance between us and TNS. Knox's first touch of the game is a very good one, and it feeds the ball through the middle for Barker. She looks to be one-on-one with the keeper, but she makes a decision which I think is the correct one, but actually costs her. It's a great ball right down the middle between the centre-backs, and Barker, I think, sees that the way it's coming behind her and straight at her as she runs towards goal, if she tries to sort of slow down to take a touch, the defending player on the cover, Baker, is going to come across and get there. So she decides to step over it and keep chasing it, so she doesn't have to break her stride too much. But that just allows it to get away from her just a fraction. If Baker hadn't been so quick and hadn't spotted the danger early and come across swiftly, Barker would have been one-on-one with the keeper, as Baker's able to go to ground and full stretch, make a really good sliding tackle to get the ball clear. But again, so close to replicating the move that led to Barker's first goal. TNS look to get back, with Chapman continuing to lively up front. They bring on Grace Thomas through the middle, a quick central striker, and instantly she's involved in a huge moment in the match. There's 16 minutes left. Chapman helps the ball on well, and Thomas accelerating onto it looks like she's going to be one-on-one. Craven, the goalkeeper, has to come out of the box. She has to commit to the challenge. She's very good at that. She's quick and her starting positions are always good. She arrives a fraction too late and catches Thomas. TNS are adamant it's a red card. My first thought was it's a red card. The ref gives a yellow. TNS are livid, and I've got to say I would have been. Having said that, I thought the officials were terrific in this game, and he immediately indicated to say Thomas prodded the ball out wide. It's not a goal-scoring opportunity because she'd have to run out to the left flank and retrieve it. I've got to admit, having watched the footage, she prods it out wide a little less than I thought she had. I think it's a tough call. It's certainly a certain commentary, the sort of call which the rules back up. If you know, the referee can only officiate by the rules, and if you officiate by the rules, he's got every right to make that call. But pundits will slaughter you for it because pundits don't have that responsibility, so the media will have leapt all over this one. I think it's borderline. Lovett has got back really well. There's another defender in the picture as well. I think the ref's justified in giving that decision, but don't get me wrong, it's a bit of a 50-50 call, and if it had gone the other end, I'd have been livid, I'm quite sure. The danger is not over though. Up until this point, Craven hasn't had much to do in terms of saves, but she's been in brilliant form and she will earn that second clean sheet. Firstly, Frances Jones from the free kick, which is a good 30 yards out, gets a great strike on it, and Craven has to leap acrobatically to tip it over the bar. The corner from Frances Jones is cleared, but she gets the ball back in, and Chapman hits a shot from around the penalty spot. Again, she's off balance, but again, she's good enough to be able to steer something meaningful towards goal, which takes a deflection and is spinning horribly. I think it's going wide, but Craven can't take that chance, not least because the amount of spin on the ball, and again acrobatically manages to make a really good one-handed save to just claw the ball around the post. The shot had hit Knox and was dangerous, and she does really well to leap it in full stretch and push it behind for another corner, which Wrexham deal with. And soon afterwards we get a much needed second goal because TNS have really hit their strides. They are into that phase of the game now where they're taking risks and attacking aggressively. They've made substitutions. Amber Lightfoot now on as a left-sided player, but Wrexham strike and get that second goal, and it's from a TNS goal kick. Great work by Barker. Chases down a short goal kick to the corner flag, wins it back, and then feeds a good ball in the box. Suckley's running onto it, sight of goal, 10 yards out, drills it, but great defending. The block comes in, it ricochets out to Knox, and Knox is very cool, just takes it, gets it onto a stronger foot and drills it home. A fine finish, a fine celebration. She enjoyed that one, and massive for Wrexham because suddenly at 2-0 the tension's all been building up. That goal is the needle into the balloon, and all of a sudden it's, yeah, okay, we've got this now, we're okay. And indeed we are. We look comfortable for the rest of the game. Cara Jones comes on with 4 minutes left and shores things up on the right hand side with typical energy, giving Mahmood a break. Great shift by her. Knox threatens again in the 89th minute. This time Suckley doing really well to feed her in a 1-2, and Knox cutting in on the left side of the box, hits a good shot with the right foot, again really gets good contact on it, and it's great keeping by Hayden Jones, diving to her left to hold on to it. It's the sort of shot that goalkeepers struggle to hold on to, and if it goes loose, Barker is attacking her and just looking for the tap in. Hayden Jones does really well to hold on to it, and that is the only chance at either end. After the 80th minute goal, Wrexham hold on, well, no, don't hold on, win, justifiably an excellent win. We took chances when TNS weren't able to, and well, that's how you win games, isn't it? A proper high quality match, but Wrexham win that derby and remain equal top. This season is something to follow, to get excited by. Goodness me, I'm telling you. So, with a final score of Wrexham 2, TNS 0, I'm Mark Griffiths from Wrexham AFC.